All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to My Mom's Basement. It is Robbie Fox, and I'm here once again with Gavin Rossdale. We did an interview on Zoom a couple months ago, but now we're here in person to talk about the new tour.
We're getting closer.
We are. We're getting closer and closer, yeah. You just announced a new tour this summer, going on tour with Jerry Cantrell. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Promoting the greatest hits album for BUSH.
Yeah, just promoting our lives and just playing for our lives and just having fun, making music. And when you play all those songs from all those years across the spectrum of BUSH, it's fun to sort of it feels like a diary of some kind in a weird way, like it's a biography that we're all part of, whether we've written the songs, performed the songs, or listened to the songs. It's a shared thing.
And you said in the announcement video for the tour that you were surprised or you were taken aback by how great the reception to the greatest hits was.
Yeah, I always thought that like when I was a kid and people come with the greatest hits, it was kind of confused me. It just confused me a little bit because it seemed to be about when it's like swan songs or farewells or something like that, and I was like, I didn't want any part of that. So it was only by doing it, agreeing to it, or being told it was a good idea to do it then, that the greatest hits, that I saw the effect it has on people. And it sounds weird, but it gave it sort of all these memories, all this history of all these people have, and all the songs and how time has moved and stuff like that. So it's been wild. I really enjoy it now. I'm enjoying it.
How tough was it to come up with the track list? I'm sure there's songs that you love that.
Yeah, we left off 4 apparently that I was sad to leave off because there's 26 legitimate hits, which means it breaks the top 20, I think.
That's a crazy stat. 26 legitimate hits.
Yeah, it is really good. So there's number 18 is on now. Is Nowhere to Go But Everywhere. I don't know what it means anymore, but it sounds good. And
charts are harder to decipher now than they were back then.
Like
right?
my 17-year-old kid killed me because I go, hey, this track's when More Than Machines number 1. He goes, I guess it's number 1. He goes, where? Like, come on.
Give me the number 1.
Don't use my humor on me. I gave him that.
The new track on it, though, I do really love, Nowhere to Go But Everywhere. How did that come about?
Just trying to think of a song that really would fit across all the years, and so I couldn't go quite as detuned as I'd like to with all the modern stuff, but I went a bit detuned, so I just went down a bit, and that song just came up. It was like this natural thing. Do you know, it just sort of popped into my lap as I was playing it, and then I didn't even think I'd ever write a song about my friends. I just thought, like, if you said write a detuned song about your friends, and like taking a drone over your life and sort of appreciating what you have and how it's important to live in the moment, I'd say I don't know if I can do that, but I did that.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great. You also have the Come Together cover on the album, which I really dig. It's from a while ago, though, right? Like 10 years ago?
It's from a while ago, and it's a track that we hadn't really released properly. It's been a limited release, and I think it's brilliantly, pretty outrageous, really, to have a greatest hits and then pop a Beatles song on there. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, it's a bit stupid, but or like we should have borrowed a few more of them, and then we'd have a really greatest hits. Imagine we put Imagine on there as well.
Yeah. Has BUSH ever tried to cover another Beatles song, or is this the only one?
I did Mind Games, which was, I suppose, a Lennon solo song. I did that for a John Lennon project, actually.
That was for a Lennon tribute album, right?
Yeah. You know better than I did. And that got past Yoko, but it didn't. It was really sad because I did it, and it was on Warner Brothers. We weren't on Warner Brothers, and I think it was Warner Brothers. So we were like right in the hot running and right in the top order, and then they got all their label to do it, which makes perfect sense. But it was really good fun to do. It's one of the first songs I ever did on my own. In a really legit studio with a great engineer, a little drum machine, and me and Jamie Mahobrak, who's a great piano player. So I just sang it really and made sure I was in the right key.
It's a great song.
Yes.
Have you ever met a Beatle? Paul
I have
Ringo,
met Paul a couple of times, literally twice, in passing, and he was lovely and sort of, it was quick, it was really, I mean, there's no way that he'd remember it, but he was just really like, you don't expect a Beatle to answer you or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't expect anyone in the Beatles to like be able to like wave at you or say something and be normal, say like look at you in the eye and be like, hey, what's going on? And he can. I was friendly with his daughter, so I knew her.
Cool.
Stella.
I'm sure you've met a lot of your heroes throughout the years, and especially in music. Which one of your heroes lived up to the hype the most?
Bowie.
Really?
Yeah, it was magic.
That's really awesome to hear.
And yeah, we toured with him in South America. Bush didn't really open for anyone when we began, and we did South America with him, and it was just what a thrill watching him every night and being on tour with him and then getting to know him. And he was just my favorite thing about him was like really funny, and I think that sometimes it's hard for people to understand or know people's characters. Like, he's so famous and big for being sort of extraordinary and avant-garde and on the edge and like that, but there's never much about his humor. But it was really funny, and just so much. I like meeting people who've achieved a lot and kind of getting in their mind and just hearing what they're like, because who doesn't aspire to a sort of a creatively successful life like David Bowie? It's like, it's as good as it gets. I always think of it like that, like as a songwriter, that people say, where'd you get the inspiration from? Where'd you do this and that? It's like, all you got to do is take Bowie, the Beatles, let's put in some American people in there for fun, Johnny Cash, Tom Waits is the king of America for me. Until I can write a song anywhere near any of those people, which I can't, I might as well keep going, because there's so much headspace.
Yeah.
There's no reason to ever give up, because the music those guys made, you can take any lyric of Bowie's, and anyone who's a songwriter is going to have a tough time putting any of their first verse against his verse.
Yeah.
Really
the
tough.
subtext,
and whenever
every
I'm
line,
like,
right?
whenever think I'm coming close to finishing a song or a lyric, I just like run it, then I'll quickly read something of his, anything of his, and just make sure that I'm just as interesting. I can't be as good as him, but I can be like, make an effort to be as sort of effervescent, bubbly, sparkly, firework like at times. And that's what I like. I think that he did that whole Burroughs cut up technique, lyrics, and I've done it a couple of times, but it's not been my thing, but I do like that thing of the Burroughs, Ginsberg, that American school of literature, that all those wild words all bunched up together, making you really think about things.
Yeah, for sure. Out of the songs on the greatest hits, do you have specific ones that you have the fondest memories of writing and recording?
Well, I definitely don't do that thing of thinking of where people call their songs their babies, because I have kids and they're not the same.
You could pick favorites on songs?
But the way that I look at it really is like the songs on different things. Like, I think about what's fun for me in doing all these interviews, to consider like anything on 16 Stone, like to be asked about Come Down or Little Things or Zen, any of those songs. Everyone, the truth is that they were written when I had been really on a steady, very consistent course of failure, and there was no chance. I didn't think there was much chance of me being in the world. I didn't. You know what I mean? It was like, it seemed a very, very distant hope. So all those songs that were written in the most brilliant innocence. I mean, anything from Razorblade onwards was obviously when I had a career, but before then. So I kind of have a special place in my heart for the kind of brilliant kind of, not arrogance, but like ignorance of youth. Just like, I'll write this song and I'm going to write that, and I get asked about this and that, and I'm like, oh, I didn't expect to be asked about any of it. Was not prepared for a follow-up question. To mimic Ted, the great line in Ted. So any of those songs, like Glycerine, for example, what I like about that is when I first played it, it didn't get a big reception from my band. It's a ballad. They didn't give a shit. It's like, whatever. They're not on it. And yet that song has taken me all the way up, all through all these years, to last night playing The Tonight Show. And so it's when I think of the songs as sort of guardians of our life and our sort of ability to play, that sort of have a gratitude towards all of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Does it feel like yesterday that you were writing those, or does it feel like another lifetime ago?
Nah. Well, it's a different lifetime, but I remember them. I remember writing. I remember the desk, the set. I had a chest of drawers that came up to your chest, and I had the tape recorder on there, and I remember standing in my bedroom. The hallway had no carpet, it just had the underlay. There's 5 people living there. There's graffiti in the kitchen everywhere. We thought we were like, we were having a laugh. And one like rickety old cooker. And I wrote that song in 2 installments. And I was convinced when I wrote it, I was thinking, oh fuck, whose song is this? Because this sounded too it didn't. I was way too amateur for that song, and I was like, what is that about? And I remember playing it to a few people, thinking like they're going to be like, tell me where it's from.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I know this is someone else's. Where is it? Where's it from? And we didn't figure it out. And that song has just been such a. It's like the equivalent of Santa's sleigh for me. You know what I mean? It's taken me everywhere. It's done everything for me, that song. And so I'm very grateful to that song, as I am to all of them, because I don't know where they came from. I saw the other day Dylan being interviewed, and he was recounting some of his lyrics. Darkness at the edge of noon, far too soon. He goes, I can't write a song like that now. He said, I write differently now, but how can I write that? And sometimes I look at those songs and I think, wow, how did they come about?
Mm-hmm.
What, you know? Because the weirdest thing about being a songwriter, especially an unsigned one, even when you're signed, no one's ringing you up to see if you're writing. No one's ringing you up to see if you can be bothered to try and move your life a bit. You know that crap life you've got? Did you try and move it on 5 inches today? Nah, I didn't. You know, I just couldn't be that. I was always trying to do something, hustle, do something, and endless, relentless failure. And then suddenly I hit the jackpot.
Yeah. Are there any songs on the greatest hits that you haven't played live in a little bit that you're excited to bring back this summer?
Mouth. People ask for that song. We haven't played that. I don't think we much ever did. It was weird because that song, when we put it on the record, is from American Werewolf from Paris, in Paris, and it's like a remix. So we've never really played it, but we've now recreated that setup, and we plan to play it. But so we haven't played that. There's a few others, but we tend to air them all out a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
So it's not like, but Mouth definitely hasn't been played.
And the last time we did an interview, you kind of talked about the last tour, reworking the way you thought about putting a tour together, a set list for a tour.
Right.
Are you bringing that into this summer's tour as well?
Yeah, because I think that from having the greatest hits, it made me play a bit more aware of the songs that got us to the dance party. You know, so I was playing more old songs as well, and it actually made for made the show feel more theatrical. Like it was, we thought about this because this is how our life went. We you know, you're following the chronology of our life with the chronology of these songs. So that's what I thought was interesting to do. So we found a nice balance. You know, people do want what they know. They want something familiar. They want something deep, unexpected, and it's also, I think, good if you don't do too much of it. They do want stuff, I hope, could be just me projecting here, new stuff, to know that you just sort of still care enough, and you just take it seriously. It's not just like, I mean, it'd be so weird if I just written that. I mean, in a way I could have some kind of a career if I just sort of played 16 Stone twice and for the rest of shows forever for the end of time.
You'd have a career, a much different career.
Yeah, but it's just it.
You don't want to be a nostalgia act.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Here's Bush.
That's the whole thing. That I think that the part of the magic of any career that has longevity is that you keep. You know, what was it? Liza Minnelli said a career is just a series of comebacks.
I like that. That's a good one. All right, so this is maybe a bizarre question, but what is the most important thing on your rider when you go on tour? We hear like almost like horror stories about riders. So-and-so wants blue M&Ms. So-and-so wants green gummy bears or something weird like that. Have you heard weird stories about riders like that?
I think that used to be back in the day a little bit more. You could be a bit more indulgent with it. Now it's seen as weird. All I care about is they don't leave the onions out. The deli tray.
Oh, you don't like onions?
The death of the deli tray. Oh, no, I like onions. Onions are fantastic. I don't want them to give fragrance to a room.
Yeah.
That odor onion, I don't know if anyone's really hooked up with that one. So they just leave them out all day long, and then you're meant to have like people backstage and be, you can't believe how cool our life is. Come into this onion-scented room. You're going to love it. Have some warm beer. It's not true what they say about English people either. We like cold beer.
Oh, they say English people like warm beer? That's a thing?
It was a cliche a long time ago.
I never heard that.
It's an old greatest hits, but it's not true. Colder the better.
In doing a little bit of research for this interview, I watched Constantine last night for the first time.
Oh, wow.
I had never seen it, and that's kind of like sacrilege for me because I'm a comic book fan and like a superhero fan. I'm a self-professed nerd. That was pretty great, and I wanted to know how that even came about, your role in that movie.
Old school, had been trying to be an actor. I love acting and went for an audition, went to meet the writer. I did the audition with Akiva Goldsman, and he wrote back to my manager that I made his words. That's how he wanted his words to sound, and all I did was kind of just treat it like a delicious everything. I remember I was meant to be so weird that I tried to be Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins, who's one of my favorite actors, and I just liked it when things are deliciously dark and looking good and all that stuff. So, and I learned that coin thing. I used to be really good at that. It took me 3 months, and I could do the coin trick really good, really rolling the... It was a specific coin, bigger than a quarter. I could get that pretty good. But they're doing a sequel.
Yeah.
So I've done something really unusual for me, is I wrote the director and the writer.
Really?
Well, I've always heard these stories about people say, and then like, I just called the director and said, I've got to do this part. The director goes, okay. I was always like, that never happened to me. So I was trying to work out how to be pushy but not be uncool. So I just thought a gentle email, like, I had such a fantastic time on that movie that I just pledged allegiance. I was like, if you need me,
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited to do it. So there's no guarantee I'll even be in it, and how sad to tell you and then find out that I'm not in it. They really, if I'm not in it, then they really don't want me in it.
Well, you have a pretty like gnarly like death scene in the first one with was that prosthetics and CGI?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I don't know how much CGI, because that'd be after me, but that was every morning was 4 a.m., 4 to 8 was prosthetics.
4 hours worth?
Then I'd start work, then I go to work for the day. And I just made a pact with myself. I wasn't on it. I was on it for like 2 weeks. So I just, nobody likes anyone that complains. So I just never, I thought you can't complain about being, having a 3:15 pickup time to get to the studio when there's other people that are going to meet you there, the makeup team and all that, who were brilliant, the prosthetic team. It was actually Stan Lee's, you as a self-professed nerd, you know Stan Lee, and all those crazy prosthetics. And so I didn't ever moan about it, but on the inside I was like a moaning bitch about it all. Like,
of course, how could you not be?
I just, but it was an incredible experience, and I did figure that I was definitely at that point in my life, I was on $100 million movie. I was the least experienced person on that set by a country mile.
Well, tell you what, watching the movie last night, you couldn't tell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I bluffed it. I'm an actor. I am an actor. So I got away with it. But yeah, great fun.
I don't know if you're familiar with Letterboxd. It's like a movie social media site that people go on and log movies. But one of the big draws of it is that everyone lists their 4 top movies as kind of like a personality thing. So if I were to change that and make it albums, which 4 albums would you give me as your top 4 favorites?
Oh, I was ready to hit you with some movies, but
hit me with some movies too. Let's do both.
Well, my favorite movie is Silence of the Lambs.
All-time classic.
I just can't even believe how good, between Jodie Foster, everyone in that movie, Anthony Hopkins. You have Silence of the Lambs. You have someone like I just saw that Irreversible, Gaspar Noé. That guy is the most incredible filmmaker of all time. But I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's borderline unwatchable, but incredible.
Okay.
Gaspar Noé. I like Christopher Nolan.
I'm a huge Nolan fan.
Inception, just ridiculous.
Yeah. The Prestige, one of my favorites of all time.
I actually haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but I can't wait.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Just as good as everyone's saying it is.
Right. In fact, that's my Thursday afternoon in New York to go and see it. And Pretty Things.
Oh, Poor Things.
Poor Things,
the new Emma Stone.
Yeah, she's incredible, and I just and I've kept away from all the kind of details about it. I finish work tomorrow, 1:30. Might get a lunch, hang out in New York, and then go do a double movie.
That's a hell of a day.
That's my day. That's my day. I want to see the Nolan so bad.
Yeah.
But let me do the music for you then. Should I do the music?
Yeah.
Well, probably Ziggy Stardust,
Mm-hmm.
Spiders from Mars, Bowie. You could have Tom Waits, Rain Dogs, Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. Bob Dylan, Desire, and I think at Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions.
Oh wow, great shout.
Just because it's like people think that if you just have a guitar, that's all you know. But it's just great music.
I didn't find out till way too late in life that Stevie Wonder was playing drums, playing guitar. He's playing everything on those albums, and it's incredible.
Everything. Tom Waits. The funny one, you know, I love Van Morrison too, but unlike the Stevie Wonder, who you find out by chance, the best one, I did have a Van Morrison record where it's so cool. I can't remember which one it was because I have many of his records. He's brilliant. But the back cover is him in a box with a different instrument, just making sure that we know that he was actually possibly playing the bass or the tambourine or some shit. It's so funny. So Tom Waits is a hero of mine, I must say.
We have like a fake band here at Barstool. It's called Pop Punk that I'm in, and we're like a parody of pop punk as a genre.
Funny.
And we'll always give our singer a guitar in the music videos, but he has no idea how to play guitar. So he's just kind of doing the movie thing with it, and that's how our version of kind of reverse Stevie Wondering people.
Good. Keep it up.
And then I know you're a big tennis guy. And a big debate around here. We get a lot of big pickleball guys in the office, but we also know that tennis people seemingly, stereotypically, hate pickleball because it's taken up their courts. Are you an anti-pickleball tennis guy?
It's a bit like the ski versus snowboard.
Is it?
Well,
like a little inner rivalry?
Well, I mean, I'm a tennis player. I love tennis. I like and the court is an integral part. The scale of it.
Yeah.
Is an integral part to how you slice and dice and destroy someone. So the abbreviation of it, you know what's weird about it? Let me put it another way. When you go past a local park, any local park, in California or wherever, and you see people playing tennis, very rarely can you see anyone that knows how to play tennis. It's the people that just get out there and they've got a couple of rackets and they're all over the shop. All the pickleball players you see have a history of tennis, have a history of skill with a racquetball. No, we don't see any not good. It's very rare to see pickleball people can't play.
Really?
Yeah, it's a weird phenomenon. And so tons of tennis players I know, they don't want to run anymore. So they're they love pickleball. Yeah. But I think it's a bit like, I love soccer. I grew up playing soccer. And what's weird about English sport against American sport, because I've fallen in love with football. American football, I love watching that.
Who's your team? Are you a Rams guy? LA Rams?
I do like the Rams because we're in town, and that seems the most logical thing to me, to support the town you're from, whereas no one seems to. Everyone's like, I love Liverpool. Liverpool is great. Or whatever their teams, and everyone I know is American. They have really random choices of teams. It's not necessarily where they grew up.
Yeah.
They just pick and choose as they wish, which everyone should. But the big difference that I find is that you guys' sport stop all the time. There's timeouts.
For commercials.
So, right, so whatever. But what I mean is that you don't get punished for lack of fitness. Like in soccer, if you can be the best footballer, but if you can't last the full time, you're going to get destroyed in the last 20 minutes and picked apart. So it's sort of, you got to be all things to be successful. And the thing about pickleball is that you take away the need to be fit.
Oh yeah, I've seen some pickleball players that. Yeah.
So you take away that need to be fit, and to me that's an integral part. If you're fit, then you're going to be able to outrun someone. You're going to always get the ball back, and you just hit the ball back and wait till they screw up. So there's it plays into that. Suddenly, when you're all abbreviated and it's all fun and short, that's gone. But tons of players I know are like, you got to come play pickleball. You're going to love it.
Yeah. How long have you been playing tennis?
Oh, my whole life.
Oh, really?
I wanted to be a tennis player, so I played tournaments when I was a kid.
So you're the guy that's slicing and dicing and destroying, as you said.
I would always try.
Yeah.
And I would always try and be mindful of the terrain and the field. And so the whole thing is like to knock the ball put someone over that corner and then to drop it here and then to drop it there, then to drop bash it back there. You don't have any of those abilities in pickleball.
Yeah. I'm interested in your tennis career. I think Gavin Rossdale on our next interview will be on a tennis court, and it'll be a tennis lesson. How about that?
You know, I mean, I always say this about tennis: it's the best sport because I can beat 1 million people, you know, and 1 million people can beat me.
There you go. Even the playing field. All right. Well, obviously, go see Bush on tour this summer. I will be there. PNC Arts Center. That'll be the date that I'm at. So make sure you look out into the crowd, dedicate a song to me, something like that. I'd appreciate it.
I will.